Let's hear it for Joseph. Last Christmas, there were pictures of a slightly different nativity on the internet. In this nativity, it wasn't baby Jesus in the manger. It was Mary, curled up, fast asleep, exhausted, and Joseph holding the sleeping baby Jesus in his arms. Joseph. My Who's Who says, 1st century, husband of the Virgin Mary, described in the Gospels as a carpenter and the descendant of David. We all know who Joseph was, or do we? He's a walk-on player in Matthew's Gospel, a walk-on part in nativity plays. He's always the one at the back. Matthew tells us he was a man of principle, but that he was also kind. Faced with a prospective wife who was pregnant, someone who many other men of principle would have felt obliged to publicly condemn, he wanted to save her from exposure. He wanted to set their contract aside quietly. Matthew also tells us that Joseph was a dreamer. An angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream. Later, when the wise men had gone home, again an angel appeared to him in a dream. Now, does this remind you of another Joseph, much earlier in the Bible, who was also a dreamer? The Joseph of the Dreamcoat. The Joseph of the Dreamcoat was resourceful, magnanimous. He rescued his people. Our Joseph is decisive. He's kind. He protects his wife and her child. Also, he was Jesus' role model of what a father should be like. What a standard to live up to. So let's hear it for Joseph. Now, it's sometimes fun to fill in the gaps that the Bible leaves behind. It's pure speculation, but how about this for a backstory for Joseph? We know he was a descendant of David. We know he went to Bethlehem, David's hometown, for Jesus' birth. So he must have had family there. And it wasn't an inn where there was no room, but a relative's house, bursting at the seams with everybody home. But what on earth was this Bethlehem boy doing in Nazareth? Maybe the speed with which he flees Herod's wrath gives us a clue. Maybe he'd done something that had angered Herod long before Jesus was born. Maybe he was a refugee, escaping from Herod. Maybe that's why he was in Nazareth. And like many refugees, he had to earn his living in any way he could, as a builder, because you can be a builder anywhere. So, if that's the case, it was his family's children who were massacred by Herod, and maybe he'd hoped by running to draw Herod away from his family. After what Herod did, he certainly could never have gone home again. So why does Joseph inspire me? He inspires me that every bit part player has a crucial role, that kindness should trump principle, and that maybe once or twice in our lives, God will tell us to do something utterly unexpected, and our prompt obedience will be vital. Let's hear it for Joseph. Let us pray. Father, whose son grew in wisdom and stature in the home of Joseph the carpenter at Nazareth, help us to count the wisdom of this world as foolishness and to walk in simplicity and trust with you. Amen.